Today we're going to be talking about circles. The key for everything with circles is right up here in the top corner, whether we're finding circumference or area, all of your formulas are up here. Hopefully you've memorized those for your formulas quiz on Friday as well. So step one is identify the correct formula based off of whether it's asking you for circumference or for area. Step two, you're going to plug the given information into the formula. And unless you're otherwise told, you're usually going to use 3.14 for pi. And then you're going to solve, it's going to be a 1 or 2 step equation for some missing information. Example 1 asks us to find the circumference and the area of the given circle. We're going to find the circumference first. So we're using pi d. The reason we used pi d is because this circle gives us diameter. So I'll use the formula that uses diameter. So I have circumference equals pi. I plugged in 3.14 for pi, so it looks like an actual number instead of a Greek letter. And then diameter. My diameter was 18. Then you can bust out your handy-dandy calculator. 3.14 times 18 to get 56.52 inches. Circumference is just another word for the perimeter of that circle. So it is not squared, it's just all the way around the outside. Then we're going to find area. There's only one equation for area. You're always going to use 2 pi r. No, you're always going to use pi r squared. So you have to find the radius. Anytime it gives you the diameter, you can find the radius using the diameter. So if diameter was 18, the radius is halfway across. So just from the center to the outside, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So our radius is 9. I had to do a little bit of math to get there. But once you found the radius, you're going to plug into pi times radius times itself. Order of operation says you have to do the exponent first. So you've replaced pi with 3.14. You're going to plug in 9 times 9 because anything squared is just that number times itself. In your calculator, keep in mind you have to do the exponent first. So I'm going to do 9 times 9 for my radius squared. Oops. 9 times 9 is 81. And then I'm going to take that and multiply it by 3.14. It is 254.34 inches squared. Area is always squared. Example number 2. Once again, I'm finding the circumference and the area of the given circle. The difference between these two examples is that this one gives me radius rather than diameter. So I'm going to use 2 pi r instead of pi d to find circumference. I bring the 2 straight down. For pi, I plug in 3.14 so it looks like an actual number, and my radius was 3.5. Then you can go to that calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 3.5 to get 21.98. Once again, circumference is just the perimeter of that circle, so it is not going to be squared. There's only one equation to use for area, pi r squared. So identify my radius, which was easy in this problem, it's 3.5. Keep in mind you have to do order of operations, so you're going to do 3.5, and there is a little squared button on your calculators here, so you can square it by pushing that button if you would rather, and then multiply that by 3.14 to get 38.465 meters squared. Example 3 is a little bit more complex. It asks us for the circumference of a circle with an area of 50.24 square centimeters. So it doesn't give us the radius, it doesn't give us the diameter, but it does give us area. So we're going to take what we know about the area, including this formula, and work backwards to find the radius. If you look up here at the top, focusing on this formula and this formula, Pi is just a regular number, so you can kind of cancel those out. 2, you could divide by 2. The radius is really what connects the two. If you can find the radius, you can work back and forth between circumference and area every time. So that's really our end goal here. So I know the area is pi r squared, and I knew the area was 50.24, so I plugged that in here. Pi was 3.14, and then I have radius squared that's left. Keep in mind, I'm solving for radius first. So I'm going to take my area of 50.24, there we go, and divide by 3.14. To get a radius, this is really radius squared of 16. Any number that is squared is just that number times itself, and to undo something that is squared, you have to find the square root. What number times itself is 16, or if you're ever not sure, there's a square root button right here on your calculator, and it is 4. The radius is 4. Now that we know the radius, we can keep working using our circumference equals 2 pi r to find the circumference. Once again, I've used 2 pi r rather than pi d because I found radius, not diameter. So plug in the 2. Pi is really 3.14, and I had already found that my radius was 4. Now in the calculator, 2 times 3.14 times 4 is 25.12 centimeters. Circumference is not squared, it is just centimeters. Your check is very similar. It gives you, now you're finding the area when it gives you the circumference. If it's given you circumference, you're going to use 2 pi r to find the radius first. Once you find radius, then you can plug in to find the area. Good luck and happy solving.